Hey everybody, I wanted to touch bases. It's been a little while. Some new additions, longer hair, a little more dreaded, new tattoo, and sort of a new focus on life path for me, my life purpose, which I've wanted for a long time for it to not be something just about me because I don't believe in the identity of the person that you're looking at to begin with, or of anything that we see. Um, and so I needed to get a little more centered, a little brought together in harmony with the energy of the I am presence, and so that's been happening up here at of all places, Cascade, Idaho, and this is the Lake Cascade out in the background here, and it's really a beautiful place. Allison and I have been here for a few months, going through a lot of opening and a lot of wonderful transitions. And as it pertains to Tantra and world peace, the things that I'm now presenting as life work. Uh, so those changes have been happening here quite abundantly, and it's a good time to start to share again vocally uh, why Tantra and why world peace, and why would I have seemingly two different elements of life work coming to the plate that I could share. And when I had to think about it, when I had to tune in and actually even get the thinking out of the way and dial in more to the energy, I discovered there's no difference. Tantra and world peace are the exact same thing, and it would be a very lengthy video, a very lengthy process to try and even put into words what that really entails, and how that could be. Because when we think of Tantra, often we think of simply the sexual aspects. And then when we think of world peace, we think of maybe a utopian society where it's almost boring, you know. And so I had to get through a lot of my own mental obstructions to understanding the two, which are actually one. And I can bring that forward now. And in Tantra, if you wanted to look at ancient texts, it's many different texts from ancient India, and a very tiny fraction of them are about sexual aspects, and then everything else is about different ways of working with energy. Now, I haven't read the text. I've read enough, and but more so I get the downloads, and that's more important, because especially in today's day, the old ways of everything are shifting. We could just say that we've flushed away the old canvas that we were working on, and now we're in a new era, a new canvas, and it's kind of time to take the old things. They still matter to a large degree, but to reinvent a broader spectrum, a broader palette of colors. And what's going on with that is that so many people are having awakenings, and that brings in ultrasensory perceptions, things that we've heard about or that certain masters have had. We think about prophets like Jesus or Muhammad, or we think of Buddha or Krishna, or the different deities, Shiva, Shakti. There's so many things we can talk about, but those days of just being a select few people are gone, and so that means that a lot of people are awakening and remembering the I am presence, and not knowing exactly what to do with that. And so there's like this stuck in limbo of old teachings that are dualistic, and a new realm that we can't even really comprehend. We can feel it, and we almost need to give ourselves a permission slip to go forward. And how this ties into world peace is that when we get forward, when we really start to move forward and activate these different energies in ourselves, anciently we would call them the chakra system, the seven chakras starting from the root, going up through the crown. But there's far more chakras even in the chakra language, or we can just talk about the energy body in general, which is multi-layered, like an onion, all the way around us. And at some point, it just becomes the same exact energy as everything: the lake, the rocks, the birds that you hear in the background, the sun, the sky, God, it's all the same thing. And it's not very far outside of our physical body that exists. And so Tantra, done the right way, with the right intention, especially in today's day and age, light Tantra as it is running through me, there's so many different ways to access that energy, those energy fields, the chakra systems, any language we want to use for it, that brings us closer to our etheric selves, our hypersensory selves, our ability to see beyond the physical and to smell beyond the physical, hear, taste, touch, to move beyond that and to actually see that even though I'm wearing a scarf and something warm, that I'm having a physical experience still, that's just a minor experience of this grander energy that is the I am energy, the God consciousness, the God energy of all of us. And so world peace actually is going to essentially just involve the fact that more of us are awakened to that, and then we connect with each other energetically, telepathically, and ecstatically in ways that currently are incomprehensible. And when we reach enough people activating and sharing and co-creating from that common space, that's when we understand what peace is. And it doesn't reduce conflict, it doesn't reduce a level of drama, I suppose, because the conflict and the drama are things that actually help us grow. But it just develops a more, if you wanted to go into a psychological, I guess, terminology, emotional intelligence. We just develop a more spiritual, emotional, physical intelligence in dealing with these things co-creatively, knowing how to communicate openly, because we start to see into each other more and more, and psychic becomes not even a term. Shamanism becomes not even a term. Astral realms, that fourth dimensional reality that's just outside of the physical, that includes the judgment and the bad and the good, that just that dissipates, and we are in the fifth dimension and the third dimension at the same time, basically the physical realm and the heavenly realm at the same time, operating from pure God consciousness. And so Tantra, light Tantra, especially in today's day and age, is designed to activate these energies within us and to push them up ecstatically. So yes, there is the sexual aspect of that. And yes, I have no problem bringing that through, but I didn't know that I had that as a journey or as a life path until just very recently. Although when the plug-in happened, I realized it was always there. And it's just a matter of getting my own way and my own judgment, my own guilt and fear and shame and all that stuff out of the way, and say, it's all perfect. There's no harm that can be done to you or to me or to anybody. And I don't bring that energy anyway. That would be something harmful. And if somebody's experiencing something that's heavy and intense, and well, that's their journey. That's what they're calling in. And so relieving even responsibility for another person's experience as part of what gets you to the ability to hold a lot of different space. And so light Tantra is really light body activation through what we would embrace historically as a tantric activation. And it's very beautiful, because ecstasy is what we are. When we take from those lower chakras and we activate them the right way, we move out of the fight or flight that they typically operate in. Those basic needs suddenly become replaced by the safety of our outer energy, of our higher energy. We can stand in our true etheric presence comfortably, safely, joyfully, blissfully, and not have a fear blockage. So it takes some work, and it takes as much work as each person is kind of calling in. And so there is no magic cure for it. There's no person, me or anybody else, that can actually go in and just eliminate that. However, we can provide the space and tell you and show you this vision of what's on the other side, and let you help yourself in a way move through that sort of mental obstruction that you've got going on. And because I've removed so many of out of my own way, I have that ability to see from outer dimensions, from outer consciousness, and I know what each person would need at the moment, even though it's always a learning curve. It's always just, I mean, we're just constantly expanding. As Thich Nhat Hanh said, always becoming. And together through Tantric journey, we just enter into the realm of blowing the lid off of limitation and duality and realizing that there's an entire experience to be had that we haven't even tapped into yet. And formerly you would say this was only a mystic knowledge, but it's not that anymore. It doesn't have to be that anymore. And through Tantra, through any means necessary within the Tantric realm, which Tantra is life, yoga is life, Tantra yoga is a thing that's been passed down for thousands of years, and when you really, really are activated, you just realize that everything is possible because everything is already Tantra, everything is already energy, everything is already supreme consciousness, even if we don't believe it because our mind hasn't caught up to that yet. Not believing in something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that you haven't experienced it yet. And through Tantra, we give you the experience of going further in. You have to go in through the heart to get into the upper chakras the right way. Even if they're open, you still have to activate the whole system through the proper energy channels that are perfect for your formula in order to access your most supreme self. And that when we get to that point, that becomes a world peace. And world peace is already here. Kali Yuga era, which began at the end of the Mahabharata, the ancient text out of India, with Krishna's death, that era has already ended. There are people who don't believe that that's true, but that's because the mind has still got something it's trying to solve. It's already ended. Krishna is already here. Buddha is already here. Christ is already here in the resurrection. You know, these things are already present. They're abundant and they're very active in all of us. And the way to activate those is to go through the heart, up into the outer chakras, and then start to basically be living in the fountain of youth, the ever-present reality. And that's world peace, when more and more of us are active in that. And I've been shown, as you know, that by the Earth year of 2065, there's going to be a big harmonic convergence of sound and color, a peaceful convergence all across the globe. And my calling, Allison's calling with us, together is in India. It doesn't mean there won't be other locations, but we saw massive gathering in India, which is the prime frequency in the world, really, for so many people who are trying to get into these outer consciousness realms. It's just designed for this. Convening under whatever peace might look like, even if there's still like bickering and fighting, but it's more of a understanding of what we're doing and why we're doing it, which eventually makes that all go away anyway. And knowing that peace is just a portal to grander roads, to grander canvases, and nowhere near the end, just the beginning. Knowing that peace is just a door to walk through. There's so much more beyond there that you wouldn't be able to comprehend right now. So the first step is just to walk that way and just be open to the flow. Like, peace is inside all of us. We were born with peace. We were born as peace. Look at any child and you'll know this. And remember that once was you, that little child, and that you once were there. And bring that forward, that inner child. And Tantra is the way to get there. The door is peace. And then beyond that, it's a really, really like wide open circuit that I've seen elements of. And each person's got their own aspect of what they've seen or sensed that's beyond there. But the most important thing right now is to get humanity to this one door. And it is happening. And I'm ready to serve and to bring forth whatever I have to help you move forward in your journey towards inner peace and activation. And it's very joyful. It's very blissful. We remove that suppressive sexual energy and we start to move up into our real self, and it's an amazing place to be. So with that, here at Lake Cascade with the sun coming off to my right side, I just want to say have a wonderful day, and look forward to connecting with you soon. I'll put my information, how you can contact us, in the notes down below, and hopefully I'll hear from you soon. Okay, blessings to you. Namaste.